Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Z. I'm a clinical psychologist specializing in transgender care. Welcome to my channel. Today, I would like to make a special episode for all of you, especially during very difficult anti-trans legislation times, to share with you some of my input on how to deal with very hateful people. I think that the analogy I'm going to use today to help you how to perhaps look at people who are hateful differently and to ideally help you how to avoid those individuals is either going to be something that you're going to laugh, or it's going to be an analogy that you're going to really hate. It is a very stark analogy. So if you are eating, you may want to watch this video after when you're not eating, or it may spoil your appetite. So let's start talking about people who are hateful toward transgender individuals. Well, you see, it's not that people are hateful. That to me actually is an issue, because I think we all have, hate is a very strong word. I think we all have certain judgments, certain views about individuals, other people. I think that's just called being human being. The difference what separates people who have thoughts and judgments and negative type, especially of judgments and beliefs, from people who are hateful and turn it into hate, the difference in between reacting and responding. People who react are reacting out of their anger, and they are reacting with hate. People who respond, oftentimes, if not all of the times, are responding from a place of self-awareness and groundedness, and knowing that they have a way of looking at the situation that may not be in alignment with anybody else. People who respond tend to be more open to debate. They're more open to a dialogue. People who react are not open to dialogue. They're not about conversations. They're about proving that their side is right and your side is wrong. And they're doing it in a way where they spew hate and negativity as a way to achieve it. One of the reasons why people who are responding are not hateful and people who are reacting are hateful, one of the biggest differences is that people who are responding are aware and in control of their triggers. They're in control of their feelings. People who are reacting, on the other hand, are not in control of their feelings. They're not in control of their triggers. And ideally, I would wish for them to spend some time in therapy working through things that triggering them the most. So today we're focusing on people who are not responding mindfully by sharing their point of view, disagreeing, but people who are reacting with hate, negativity, spitefulness, with an attempt to essentially, what I think, to take you down, to really dehumanize you, to bring you down. And we all know those people. We all heard those people. We all seen those people in media, and we all seen people on social platforms. You may have seen those people in public, and you can tell the difference between people who are reacting with hate and anger and people who are responding with different point of view. So what do you do, and how to deal with people that are so hateful? How to deal with people that are so reactive? One of the things that you need to do is, and this is where the analogy comes in, so if you're eating, put the food away, is to recognize that people who are reacting are akin to babies who still haven't learned how to control their shit. Yeah, people who have not learned the basic skills of holding themselves when they have to go to the bathroom, then actively taking themselves to the bathroom, taking their shit where you're actually supposed to take it, on a toilet, and flushing it down. They're lacking that basic self-control when it comes to particular subject matters. And because they're lacking self-control, they can't help themselves. They got a shit all over the place. And what happens when you come into contact with people who shit all over the place? Pardon my French, we'll be using shit a lot today. What happens, think about what happens when you come close to a baby that just can't control itself and just shit it all over itself. It stinks. It stinks. And you know what? When it stinks, you don't want to be around it. I don't want to be around it. And I'm sure you don't either. Hate stinks. Hate is disgusting. When you engage with people who are hateful, by trying to, and you're probably engaging from a good place. You're probably engaging because you're trying to teach them something, hoping that they will change their hateful mindset. When you're engaging with people who just shit all over themselves, what you're doing is you're stepping into their shit. And then you're being affected by the smell of their poo. And then you're walking around and you're dragging the shit all over your space because you can't get their hate out of your mind. That happens primarily because you engage with them. It's not your fault. I get it. You have good intentions. But I'm trying to make this video to help you all realize that people who shit and can't control their feelings, who can constructively, mindfully, adult-like express why they believe otherwise without dehumanizing or stripping somebody down of their human rights, of stripping somebody down of their dignity, these are people who can't control themselves. They can't control their shit. They are adults who are wearing diapers. Diapers is a metaphor for their inability to control their emotions around their triggers. When you see those people, when I see those people, they're so hateful on social media, on the internet, I mean, you name it, right? We can see them in so many places today. I personally immediately see a baby. I see adults sitting on the floor that can't control themselves and they're having diarrhea outbursts all over themselves. You have to realize when people shit on themselves, they're just making themselves look bad. When people hateful, they don't look good. They only look good to other adults who are shitting themselves because misery loves company, right? So those adults go, oh my God, thank God, I'm not the only one that can still control my feces. How wonderful. Look at that one over there. Oh, good. I'm going to go ahead and shit all over the place again. Majority of the people in the world are mature and can control our feelings, can control our triggers. That's why when we see somebody who is so hateful, we go, oof, you don't even realize how bad you look right now. Really bad. I mean, without even getting into anything, but to give you an idea of people shitting on themselves, is recently what I saw on TikTok with, and I don't know how much of this is true, but I came across this. Dylan Mulvaney made, but what is it? Is it Budweiser? This is how badly I know beer. A beer company has put Dylan's face on it for the month of the month, March or something like that. And there were a whole bunch of this men who just destroying their beer and just showing their bigotry and hatred on the TikTok. And all I could see was, I didn't even have to even know what the issue was about. All I saw was anger and hatred. And I saw big, mature man sitting on the floor, having a poop and smearing their shit all over themselves. That's all I could see. That's all I see when I see hate. And that's all I want you to start learning to see when you see hate. You cannot engage with hate. You're not meant to engage with hate. Hate is a very heated up emotion. People in a heated state, in a heightened hate state, they're not open or receptive to anything. They're not here to listen or to learn. That is not their intent. Their intent is to shit all over the place and to feel good. You know how you feel good after you take dump? Except they're doing it publicly, all over the place, and demonstrating to everybody how they still can control their triggers. When we don't take care of our triggers and learn what they're about and control them, they control us in this way. And you know what? There has been times when I shit all over myself too because I can't control myself, right? And I'm sure there's times when you do that too. We're all human. The key is how do we learn from it? But when you encounter people who do this again and again, and I see people do this on my channel all the time. Every time I see a non-constructive, hateful comment, I go like this. Yeah, it's just really sad. It's really sad to see adults who can't converse, who can't speak, who have to shit. It's actually quite sad. So I want you to realize from now on, when you see people who are hateful and angry toward you, you're looking at an adult sitting on the floor, having a temper tantrum and shitting all over themselves and waiting for mommy to come and clean them up. That's all it is. And walk away. You can't do anything about it. You just want to make sure you don't step in their shit by engaging with them and carrying that funk with you, into your space. You don't need that. When I see, my sister has my sisters have kids. When I smell the diapers, I'm like, I go a mile away. You do the same. You go a mile away from that funk. That is not for you. That is for them to clean their mess up. You're not their mommy. So that's what I want you to really think about. I know it's very stark analogy, but I think it's such a perfect analogy for all the haters. And if haters are watching this now, which I doubt, but if they are, they're probably very quick to, this is not true. We're not cheating all over ourselves. But yeah, you are. You really are. Let's just admit you're cheating over yourself, and that's not okay. It's not okay when I shit on myself. It's not okay when any of us shit on ourselves. It is embarrassing when we can't control our feelings. It's embarrassing when we can't control our emotions. And oftentimes it's a great lesson to all of us that, hey, whoa, I get triggered. There's something here I need to work on. This issue is something that is probably has something deep seated within me that I can't even constructively look at it. It's a lesson. Just like when you can't control yourself and you accidentally shit your pants, you're like, wow, that was embarrassing. I don't want that to happen again. So start looking at people like that because that's the behavior that they're exhibiting. And if you're watching this and if you shit on yourself, because trust me, like I said, we all do, I do too, we're all humans. It's a lesson that is something triggering that triggers your emotions, something to work on, so it doesn't have to be a pattern. And that's very important to remember. I hope this was helpful to all of you. I think in a light with everything that's going on, I think it's important to call certain aspects of human behavior, such as hate, to such extent where that hate, again, dehumanizes and strips people away from their dignity, exactly what that behavior is. It is a shitting behavior. That's all it is. People can say that we need to also step ourselves in those people's shoes. I disagree. Unless people learn how to constructively voice their opinions. I am all for people having different opinions from my own about gender affirming care, about gender dysphoria, about a whole bunch of things. I engage in constructive dialogue on this channel all of the time. I'm all up for it. What I'm not for up is people who are spitting hate in a form of shit. I'm not up for that. And I hope you're not up for that either. So comment below, let me know how you handle people who are hateful, because I don't think there is a way to hate. And hopefully this analogy is going to help you from now on when you see hateful content to really realize what you're seeing is something else. I wish you all the best. Talk to you next time. Bye.